has in the jungle.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising as well. But without further ado, now we are going to go into his game number 2. And yeah, we are going to be seeing A8 Esports up on screen. No, sorry, it's going to be PBN Strike actually up on screen as they try to make a comeback on what they need to do in this upcoming match. Because as of now, it is going to be a stressful moment. One more game risks being eliminated from PBN Strike, while A8 Esports one game away from being dominated as they advance further in the lower brackets.
Yep, starting off with the Valentina ban again, just very, very common ban. PBN Strike showing respect to Ozzo. Instant elimination on that Fanny. Probably going to be expecting the Farmist ban, but that has to come from PBN Strike though, as A8 Esports now having that first pick is going to give them so much priority. And once more, Fredrin isn't a hero that they bother too much picking up first, but if the Farmist is available, I think A8 Esports would rather go for that. They did ban the Kaja in the previous game. They did ban the Joy also alongside the 1-1. So a couple of options for him, A8 to consider.
You know, I think the best option right here for PBN Strike is pretty much open up all the pools and get 2 S tier picks in their hands. Because on the red side, you're pretty much guaranteed that in that favor. A8 Esports, they chose to choose both the Kufra and Fanny just because of the fact they want to double down that the Fanny pretty much wins their matchup, right? There's just not a lot of heroes that actually wins against a Fanny in terms of certain composition, excluding of that early match between Euphoria Esports. Of course, there was an exception that Kufra wasn't needed, but of course, it all comes down to teamwork, communication, and execution. Marta is also going to be a hero where a lot of teams use it just because it can kind of disrupt the Fanny cables midway. So I guess Fredrin is also another alternative as well. Which I think PBN Strike needs to realize that, hey, maybe they should have prioritized this a little bit more. I'm pretty confident that if Fredrin is not banned, A8 Esports is going to straight up take it first pick and let the blue slide. But PBN Strike, they have to pick their poison. If that were the case, do they ban it? No. Kaja being banned instead.
And just a very safe approach from A8 Esports.
Ooh.
We have seen a replacement for the Kaja, right? Except for the Franco, Cho has also been a hero that's been popping up more often in the challenge group stage. PBN Strike for the last ban. They still have a couple on the table though.
So many.
Joy, 1-1. I feel like it has to be the Joy for PBN Strike.
Yeah, it has to be the Joy. But at the same time, if they go for the Joy, if they let the Joys through for A8 Esports, PBN Strike can instantly counter with a Kufra Fredrin, which is something to actually deal with it. But no, they give away, they ban the Fredrin, they give away the they banned the Joy to give away the Fredrin for A8 Esports.
Big flex hero for A8.
No,
1-1
they don't care about the Fredrin.
And Fredrin has always been secondary for A8, which is something that most teams haven't really been, been comfortable going for. But this 1-1 heading over to A8 means that even if Fredrin goes to PBN Strike, A8 is like, sure, we have a 1-1, we are not too worried about it. And they have that Farsa, which is a decent response to snipe this 1-1.
Yeah, I guess that's going to be the case coming from PBN Strike, but they do need a solution as well. We've seen teams adapt with the Phobias, but it is going to be very, very risky. Phobia is not necessarily the best solution to do a 1-1. We've seen teams playing Lolita to deal with it, which is a great way to deal with a 1-1. We've seen teams play Saber as well as a one-shot potential to deal with 1-1. But I don't think they would go for it. But PBN Strike, once again, ignoring the Fredrin, double downing on the Karina once again, means that A8 Esports is in a position to pick the Kufra once again to deal with the mobility coming in from the Karina. Or they can still opt to go for the Ruby and the Cho to potentially shut down this Farsa. So as of now, A8 Esports, do they pick him up or do they go for the Fredrin?
They can even go for the Fredrin and the Cho, and it would be a decent answer as well, right? You have so much threat on the Farsa and the Karina. A8 Esports kind of spoiled for options in this scenario. And I think that the Fredrin is, again, a pick that they have been flexing between the jungle and the XP, so there's so much more value normally. But they got the for the Cho and the Hayabusa. Another way to just dive the Farsa.
Okay, completely ignoring the Fredrin. You know, these are 3 heroes that completely very, very strong in diving back lines, means that PBN Strike, they are in a situation where they need to find a way to just protect Yujichenko. And so far, Yujichenko, biggest threat for PBN Strike, has been the core winning to actually win the early games. And with this catch coming from BAB and Esports, I really don't know how Yujichenko is going to survive this with this Farsa.
They have the Brody, which is decent response. One that lane bully against 1-1. Brody is a good option early game, considering the fact that 1-1 not as mobile as before. Early on, we see the example, 1-1 still not opting for the boots, but I think in this case, you definitely have to. Yi being banned out by PBN Strike.
I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to see how AAD Esports plays this as well. So far, not many teams has kind of played boots yet. Everyone is still adapting to no boot strategy. 1-1 personally is still not a big fan of it, especially in this recent change of the patches and node itself. But I like how PBN Strike, they're banning off Lydia. They're banning off Eve. Most likely they are going to be banning off another mage that is good against the Farsa, right? Lydia's decent. I think Kadita and Lunox is something that they have to worry about as well. So I guess they might consider banning off either. Oh, this is tough. I think Kadita. No way. Forcing the Kadita on AAD Esports is tough, but they banned the Lapu Lapu. Alright, okay.
AA might consider a Grok ban also, right? Because
yeah, they should actually go for the Grok ban. So I was a little bit surprised with this.
Kufra, very understandable, but they actually take again. They ban the Hilda. They just want to give as much, breathing room as possible to the higher booster early on.
I think Franco isn't too bad from PBN Strike. If they want to try and deny the higher boosters farm a little bit much, Franco isn't too bad. Mincitar, even though it's not allowed in this for 2-week bans for tournament's sake, it's not allowed. But I know Tigro is a little bit too far-fetched, right? If you really want to annoy the heck out of people in early stage game, banging on a Tigro, just shoving the purple buff time and time again, it's going to be nice, but it's going to be tough. Because as we had PBN Strike, they have no choice but to pick the Lolita to deal with the 1-1. And I guess that is something that they have to actually deal with it. Because eventually, this higher moves are going to be left completely uncontested. While PBN Strike, there's so many options to go for.
There it is.
But now, a tanky XP laner, Terisla, very difficult to deal against in terms of matchup. Whereas PBN Strike still has the option to go for the glue. Problem is the glue going to get slid off? Or do they just deny it from AAD? What says, you know what, it's okay. Okay, no.
Right? That's what you were worried about, right? Early on for AA. Wow, finally went through. It's going to be a Kadita.
I really hate how AAD Esports is just drafting heroes just to deal with Yujichenko. This first game, same thing happened. Second game, same thing happened. You know for a fact that I have a soft spot for Yujichenko, but based on this draft, there's no way Yujichenko is able to play this game at all. Because, look at this. Petrify combo, one shot from Ocean. Breath coming in from AAD Esports. The Rough Waves, you've got Terisla goes good for one shot combo. Hayabusa, okay, Shadow Grid just one shots you. Cho also kicks you and completely shuts you down on Farsa. You've got to pull the big W for PBN Strike. But last but not least, pocket strategy from PBN Strike. Once again, going for a triple mage setup. This time, they're bringing in the Edith on the XP lane. And I'm curious to see how this works out for PBN Strike.
Well, PBN Strike showing two of the picks that they have been very comfortable with. Saw the Edith, see the the Karina. It's time for them to fight for the tournament lives. Cross A Esports. This is, hold on. This is not a okay. I got scared for a while. I saw Kesu on the Terisla. I'm like, is he gonna run a roam Terisla? Thank goodness he's not. I know he's crazy, but not that crazy. So roaming Cho, bonded Terisla. A draft that we don't see often on AA, but if you call out certain picks, especially the Kadita, and now we finally see it on Richie. One last chance for PBN Strike to keep themselves in the tournament.
Well, seems like AAD Esports, they have a composition where they're going all in to punish the back lines, but at the same time, they're not as tanky of how Game 1 is going to be before. So PBN Strike has a little bit better zoning tactics, even with the triple mage composition coming in from them. Hopefully it is going to be enough, because as of yet, AAD Esports one game away from eliminating PBN Strike, while PBN Strike is going to be fighting for their tournament lives. Because as of yet, PBN Strike, they may have a triple tank composition, a triple mage composition. AAD Esports doesn't have that zoning capabilities from how Game 1 is. First item Radiant Armor is not going to do as much impact in the sense where Kezu is not the tankiest hero. Fondier, not necessarily a tankiest as well. At this time, Ozil doesn't have the kill threat potential that Fanny has from game number 1. So hopefully, it is going to be having a little bit more time. However, with the aggression coming in, anything can happen.
This is mission protect Yujichenko for sure. Fondier showing up. Ioni really careful. Man, much damage from the Charisla. Richie will be forced away. Fondier also flickers. They follow up with Nanami getting the first blood onto Richie.
Oh my goodness, they did not expect Nanami at all, and it's not over yet. And Leone is gonna get punished for this as well. Teresa comes in. Meanwhile, this is happening. Kezu also losing his life. PBN Strike finally has the aggression that they have been looking for too. And just like that, PBN Strike, they will have the huge lead. And this is might be a potential game 3 here if this goes up, because AD Esports, they're disrespecting the draft. But with that being said, Yujichenko, he knows he is the point of interest coming from AD Esports, but we are calling him pass coming from PBN Strike.
It's going to be a minor room to breathe. AD Esports actually kind of overcommitting early on. PBN Strike able to punish that. So much value, the fact that they got the first blood onto Richie of all things. That is one of the heroes that you want to start snowballing, get that for, start roaming, kind of blowing up the side lanes. One thing that we did see on the map was how the 1-1 was actually doing so much better than expected. Not getting bullied out by the Brody early on.
Yeah, it's interesting as well, because based on what I'm seeing as well, 1-1 opting to go for an early steal leggings as well, transitioning to a potential magic defense in case any sort of a gang potential coming from PBN Strike. But at the same time, yes, as a 1-1, you pretty much just want to stay in lane, soak up your farm. Getting defensive gives you a little bit more upper hand instead of trying to go for kills, which doesn't give you enough value. You need those levels, you need those items before you can kind of scale their way through. But I think that is not the main question coming from RP. The biggest question here is that how can AE Esports open up the map?
Oh yes.
This is the biggest problem I've been bringing up today as well. Fredrin is just so annoyingly tanky, very hard to kill him off. Not many marksmen can actually chunk his HP, max HP percentage, blah blah, yada yada yada. AD Esports has a composition where they have tanks that is not super tanky. The only ultra tanky one is going to be the Terisla, which oftentimes as an XP laner needs some time before he gets that initial grind here. In this case, Nanami as a matchup means Nanami is going to be able to 1v1 his matchup against the Terisla and come out on top. And that's the scary part about the Edith, which a lot of people kind of think that, hey, it's a tank, it's not going to hurt. Hello, it is a marksman / tank, and there's a reason why Edith is one of the very, very underrated XP laners or tank in this game.
Yeah, one of the more unique heroes also. Those sounds like hitting 4, chunking RP down to health, to have to force Fondier to show up. Penalty zone to plus Anzai RP. Can you follow up with damage? It was a bait all along. Raizo getting the kill. Trying to get out of the Kezu actually flickering on top, getting the kill on the Karina. Fondier sidestepping all of the better airstrike. Kezu getting a kickoff as they hit that level 4. Gets a double kill. Looking for a triple. Ioni gets the shield back up. Barely surviving. Esports at least gets some trade back, and also gets the turtle.
Oh, what a play coming from both sides as well. Well done coming from Castle for getting those trades here. Leone almost losing his life. Had to expect almost everything to make sure that he doesn't lose that 1v1. So with that being said, AD Esports, they finally make a little bit space for the team. However, losing RP rather early on, this is going to put a dent in their aggression here. As of yet, Ozil completely left unchecked. Needs a little bit more time to find farm. Turtle still going to be in the hands of AD Esports, but based on the goal earned right now, Yujichenko and Raizo having a fantastic lead compared for game 1, but this time, here comes the kick.
Early kick right back. RP just proccing all of the vitals. Looking for that ultimate, not enough thing on Leonido, and now Feather Airstrike chunking him down. And the torn apart memory also helping in that case. RP going down for a second time.
Oh, you hate to see moments like this as well. The way of the the crossbow attacks was able to pop off. Not enough attack speed, not enough range nor movement speed to actually back off. And that's the problem with it as of yet. It's no longer the same crossbow attacks back in the days. It's no longer the same range on top of it all. It's a hard nerf. But in the right hands, it is going to be possible. But bottom side, oh! Yuck! Yuck!
Yes.
Yuck!
Just complete destruction on the Brody. Just Kadita stuff. All things considered, Yujichenko finally getting a more comfortable game. There's a jump on him. Sidestep the knockup. Also not securing the kill. And again, They lost RV for the third time. PBN Strike
No way.
is focusing on that bottom lane.
Okay, he doesn't have the flicker to extend this, but at the same time, he's gotta back out a little bit more. Nanami's here to save the day. He does have the primal wrap, but he's not gonna pop it yet. But it seems like there is gonna be Numenon Blast coming in, and just like that, it is gonna be Rigel that finishes the mob, and AAD Esports now in their backseat. Wave the Dragon from Leone set up for the KO, and that is gonna be the turret that takes him out. But no, it is gonna be Ozil that gets the kill for the jungler for AAD Esports. Meanwhile, Nanami now looking for the setup to extend his fight. He pops the primal frap, and immediately once that's up, AAD Esports just completely runs for their dear lives. They know they cannot challenge it, and they will respect it. Yuji Ichigo shows his face on the side, but it is going to be a slight disengagement here. Skirmish comes in, the Federation comes in, but no, it almost clips Ozil. And the return from Richie getting absolutely nothing. Both teams just playing it safe, trading 50-50s across this entire fight.
Next is get a kick onto Nanami. Richie is there by his side, but they just don't have the damage to get rid of this Eden. PBN Strike will secure this turtle. Raizo Anzai doing the job. 4-1 on the Karina so far in this game.
Oh my goodness, that is so hard to actually play this here. AD Esports, they're trying their best, and Nami looking for the setup, and Fondier looking to force a couple of penalty zones. He gets the kill! He loses his life, but he gets the job done on Nami before losing his life, and now Yuji Chenko trying to threaten Ozil down to his 10 HP, but they will both disengage, and so far another attempt down bottom side here is all out brawls across the lanes, and Arfi looking to threaten his way through. The Torn Apart Memories comes in, Kezo will survive, but PBN Strike, they're not pulling out their fangs as well. It's not over yet.
PBN Strike actually having the lead as well. This is such a much closer game compared to game 1. Not letting a Esport get away with the snowball. So far this Hayabusa 1-0. Look at the net worth lead here. Is very behind Raizo Anzai. Richie's gonna try and help Nami. Get knocked up. Damage not enough. Petrify use. They're gonna try and break the Nami, but he flickers out in time.
Oh, Fondier was just barely at the edge to actually chunk him down, and because of he gets out, but Ozil, he gets dived into the middle lane for PBN Strike. Immediate reactions that they are going to continue with the assault as AD Esports. They are going to lose bodies for this play. Meanwhile, AD Esports, Kezu, doing a little bit of persistence here. But there's only so much this show can do. He's looking for the kid. The angle looks good, but it's a little bit off at the range of the turret. So that is going to be a free kill in the hands of PBN Strike. Meanwhile, Arfi gets a solo kill down bottom for that Farsa. And now in this middle engagement as well, Blunt's Anzai going to get finished off by Fondier. Well, Leone going to be picked apart by Richie as they try to swing away from Fondier to get the kill. But he knows Fondier does have the shortest legs in this game. But AD Esports, they will be able to equalize the economy a little bit more.
Yeah, with all the lead that PBN Strike has, now that has completely been flushed away. Arfi solo killing Yojichenko down bottom shouldn't happen. PBN Strike getting picked off left, right, and center. Blur Sansai going down for a third time. Leone as well. It's the same scenario from game 1 where this Karina is the one that is holding majority of the net worth. And everyone else on PBN Strike just relying on this Karina to get things done. Penalty zone, Raizo Anzai already with the Trunken, avoiding some of that damage, and the OG Shadow Q as well, but the rest of AA Esports, they're gonna show up. And PBS Strike, Torn Apart Memory, Fondier dropping low, he's gonna go. AA Esports cannot fight this.
Oh my goodness, nicely done coming from PBN Strike, because based on what we're seeing here, PBN Strike, they do have the stronger zoning capabilities, but they need to play around Blunt's Anzai joining this fight, and that's the strength about what Brody will build. Every single time, if they take a split fight, it allows opportunities for AA Esports to completely outplay it. But if they group up together, PBN Strike has a fairly decent chance against AD Esports, whereas Ozil has been struggling to cut the backlines. And every single time he does that, Yuji Chenko, the point of interest, is going to be tough on as well, because right now they know exactly where he is. They saw that rotation. They know they're aiming for Yuji Chenko, but it does not matter now. The crossbow tank already expended. Arfi needs to back out, and there's absolutely nothing he can do to get out to safety.
And Leone just eats all of that crossbow attack with the bulwark as well. AD Esports, you cannot kind of perform those game 1 shenanigans where you just dive on the PBN Strike. Doesn't work that way. Both goal laners having a rough time in this game 2 so far.
Yeah, that's the problem about RV, right? Like, the thing about 1-1, without shoes, it is going to put you in a huge deficit to actually set up for those crossbow attacks. And even then, you've got problems such as the Bulwark to deal with. But there is going to be a godlike coming from PBN Strike where they actually get the kill for Richie and Raijo Anzai, now currently top in the net worth, just completely decimating, saying that it's not over yet. We are fighting for our lives. And Ozio, oh my god, getting one-shot comboed.
Kesu might give up his life for it. It's gonna flicker, getting the way of the dragon, but doesn't matter. Raizo just unscathed. The network lead from PBN Strike all is in the hands of this Karina. Better Air tries to flush Fondy and Arfi away from that mid-tier 2. PBN Strike looking for an opening. The Nami is there. Arfi, really careful. Don't want to get dive on again. And Richie.
Oh my
using that ultimate,
goodness.
getting away in time. Winter Trunken keeping Raizo alive enough. The Nami stopping Fondy from getting in. The flicker penalty zone is right there. And they dive straight onto Lioni. Roji Chango also goes down. Also finds an opening in the crossbow attacks coming right through for Arfi. PBN Strike have overstayed their welcome.
Oh my goodness, wombo combo coming from 8-Hit Esports. One sick penalty zone is all they need, and that's exactly what they get. PBN Strike completely caught off guard, and now it is going to be a wipeout. Oh, they caught everyone. This is exactly what 8-Hit Esports need. The comeback mechanics, the mistakes from PBN Strike, and they finally found a crack in the defense. And now with the Lord Alpha grabs, this is go time for 8-Hit Esports.
Once more PBN Strike, you get the snowball, but you can't, but they were not able to kind of further that lead. Kesu, not as easy to take down as he was previously. I gotta say, Fondy has been instrumental in getting these engages off. Oh, Kesu looking again, Lioni stunning him. Not even gonna kick this yet, but Fondy is right there. Kesu,
oh my god!
Penalty zone once more in the tree. No follow-up from 8-8.
Oh my god, PBN Strike, they have to respect Fondian because he's getting free penalty zones time and time again, and because of this, it is going to be a little bit of a problem. Richie almost one-shotting Raijo from that play. And PBN Strike, they've got to be shaking their heads here. What went wrong? We were having the time of our lives, and now we're getting picked off bit by bit, and 8-Hit Esports finally having the confidence they have been deprived of for so very long. And you can see Kizu also looking for the setups as well to try and punish Yuji Chenko. PBN Strike now has to throw bodies for this defense, and it might be an easy one, but it is going to be a tough one.
Inhibitors getting pressured in all 3 lanes. PBN Strike taking care of the Lord, top wave shoved up as well. Remember the net worth that was all in the hands of Raizo? That has now completely been depleted. 8-Hit Esports have the lead. Good news for PBN Strike. Inhibitor turrets all safe.
It just shows you how a wipeout can just completely change the dynamic of full swing, right? Getting a kill on every single one means pretty much it gives you the bounty compensation from the highest net worth players and also those lower ones as well. So that's going to be a huge gold swing. And with that being said, Arfi was able to get double kills in that prior fight just like that. He was able to top the net worth right now, taking away from Raija. But now here comes the first engagement. Wow. They catch Richie in a combo. Absolutely nothing he could have done. Ozil looking to try and retaliate this fight, but there's nothing they can do. Penalties over the backline, no follow-up coming in, and PBN Strike was able to bait this out. And 8-Hit Esports, they've overextended their stay, but Kesu as well as Arfi just completely picking them one by one, as the crossbow attacks from Arfi is gonna do so much work, but eventually it is gonna run out of bullets, and it is gonna be go time for Blood's Anzai as they pick them all bit by bit. And now Keizu, last man standing, can they get the wipeout? No, they cannot.
8-Hit Esports, I'm surprised they committed in that manner. Fondia just flicker with the penalty zone. They barely had enough damage. It was still a 3 for 4. If you are a PBN Strike, you're very happy. Better airstrike, cancel, Richie.
Okay, he's fine. He's got a purify, so it's gonna be all good for now. But meanwhile, we do see the Bloodwings purchase up on Yuji Chenko, so he's gonna scale a little bit more in terms of overall damage. That's a little bit scary as well, because there has been reworks on Bloodwings, super underrated item for mage items. But Nanami, once again, he wants to focus on Richie, because right now the person that completely one-shot the back lines is pretty much Richie. But little did they know, the biggest threat still gonna be up on this 1-1. And currently, Arfi, he just got himself a magic blade. So that's going to be something that keeps him a little bit more sustainable against Raicho's burst as well as the Farsa's Feather Dash, right? Meanwhile, there's a couple of trades here for the Lord fight, but eventually they will force reactions here, especially when Ozil is always trying to poke the back lines to force Yuji Chenko's Feather Dash, right?
He already used the OG Shadow Q early on. Looking for Nami up top. That is not the target that they can kill. They did get a bit of info for A8. Lord is up. PBN Strike looking for a wraparound with Raizo's playing in that brush as well. So if you get another execution like he did, and his execution has been what allowed PBN Strike to win most of these fights. A8 dangerously close. They had a inkling where Raizo would be. Now forcing Karina out of the shadows means that Esports can confidently start on the Lord. Roscoe video also purchased by Arfi. PBN Strike looking to find an opening in.
Oh my goodness, this is going to be a little bit of a difficult spot to be in. Lord's going to be baited out, but little did they know, you can see AD Esports, they're trying to bait reaction from PBN Strike. The Lord gets resetted, but the top side, the Ozil is going to be looking for a rat, and PBN Strike, they immediately going for the pounce.
And there it is, penalty zone only onto Leonido, not the target they were looking for. Raizo Ansai getting completely isolated from his team. The Winter Trunken trying to stay alive. RP is going to easily get that kill. Meanwhile, Richie is in the back line and blowing up Yodichenko, forcing the Winter Trunken. Now Kenzu again with the Kundo and the flicker. There's 4 dead on the side of PBN Strike. AA Esports finding a massive lead, looking for the end.
Oh, they made their first mistake. They got desperate as soon as they saw Ozil on the top side. They forced the fight, but at the same time, Bloodless side completely bailed on it. And in the midst of all this skirmish, AA Esports was able to pick them part by part. And finally, PBN Strike, they will lose their lives. And now AA Esports will close out 2-0 in a very, very nail-biting series. And just like that, AA Esports comes up on top, and they will eliminate PBN Strike from the tournament itself. GG, well played.
Top 6 guarantee to AA. Another lower bracket run continues. I guess PBN Strike, last time they couldn't overcome AA. Couldn't do it this time either.
What a game coming in from AA Esports. The patience, the outplays, the macro game aspect coming from AA Esports is what kept them